If there's one dish in the winter that I do like, it's shepherd's pie. Between its delicious starchy potatoes and the nice meat, it really does hit the spot on a cold day. One time I was watching kind of a challenge between a bunch of different chefs, and one guy was placed with the challenge of making shepherd's pie into a dish you can eat with your hand. He made potato chips and made the shepherd's pie into a dip and presented it that way. I wasn't impressed with it. What I thought was, if you're going to eat it with your hands, why not use the vessel that you already have on you? The potato. Dishes like the potato skin and baked potatoes really do show what the potato can hold in its, what it is strong at. Now, why can't we make a baked potato, take out the insides, fill it with shepherd's pie filling, and then make somewhat of a mashed potatoes on top and make shepherd's pie potato skins? And that's what we're going to be trying out on this episode of the Otter's Test Kitchen. Let's get started. Okay, to start off, the most important part of this recipe is potatoes. So however many that you're going to be serving, you're going to want at least one potato for 2 servings. What you're going to do is slice them in half, cave them out, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to slice them in half, and then after we bake them, or in this case we're just going to nuke them, it's faster, split in half, cave it out. So as I said, however many potatoes you're going to be serving, you may have to up the amount of meat depending on it. We'll have to find out with this. It's my test kitchen, and I'm not actually presenting you with the recipe in total. So next we're going to be using, make sure is lamb. Shepherd's pie is usually cooked with lamb, but you can cook it with ground beef if you can't find ground lamb in your area. I just like lamb, and this is traditional for shepherd's pie. We're going to be using celery. Normally I get the stalks and chop them up, but this is just going to be easier, and also for when we're having snacks while we cook. For some reason at the place I went, they didn't have small individual carrots, so I ended up getting diced up carrots, again also for snacks, but we're going to be using carrots in this recipe as well. Onion, 1 onion, medium sized. We're going to also be using whole corn kernels, and we're also going to need bacon and sharp cheddar and maybe a little bit of sour cream. You'll see about that in a minute, or towards the end of this. And corn, sour cream, bacon, about it, and oil, spices, maybe a little bit of flour to thicken it, and we'll show it as we go. So why don't we get to dicing? Well, first step we need to do is dice up all of the veggies, and we'll get you going on that. Bacon! Okay, once you get the skin off, what I normally do is I'll do some nice lengthwise slices, about every 1/8 inch down the onion. And then do some length, and then cutting out serine. Now we want this to be a nice thin dice, so you want to just go down slowly go down it. And then repeat on the other side. So with this, we're also going to be wanting about, we'll go with about a quarter cup of carrots. I'm going to be dicing these up, and about 3 stalks of celery. So why don't we get these chopped up? And the way I tend to chop up things is put it down and watch your fingers. And then once I get them diced up like that, we're going to do a quick rough chop on that as well, just to kind of break them up. So quick a little bit faster. Nice little rough dice on these. I'm going to add these with the onions because we'll sweat these down with the onions at the beginning. If there's some big pieces in there, that's okay. These are going to be really soft, and sometimes I like a little bit of texture in my dishes. The carrots, what I'm going to do is just bunch these up. And wash the fingers. And that's our veggies processed now. For this recipe, what we're going to be using is about a pound of cherry smoked bacon. Most of this isn't actually going to be ending up in the shepherd's pie. I may add a little bit, but a lot of these are actually going to be broken down into bacon bits, which is going to go onto the topping. So what we're going to do is open this. Now you can use whatever bacon you'd want, whatever flavored bacon you want. I'm just going cherry smoked because that's what we have on hand. What we're going to do is, now if you had remembered to freeze this, it makes it a little bit easier, but it's generally easier to handle these when they are on the colder side. And once they're diced, remember to wash your bacony hands. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get it over medium heat. And we're going to add the bacon. Now, some of these pieces of bacon are going to end up being pretty big for bacon bits, but we can always decrease their size with a knife. And what we're going to do is we will kind of break these up a bit, and we're going to want to get these over heat. We'll render them down, and we want to get these crispy, so this may take a little while, but basically just keep working them down until they're crispy. I'll bring it back when they start to get cooked down a little bit. Okay, after the bacon has gotten down and crispy, what we're going to do is turn off the flame. We'll put this off to the side real quick. We're going to then pour some of the bacon fat onto the next pan. So why waste the nice oil? Not actually put the bacon into it. Yeah. A bit more. And then what you're going to want to do is get the bacon out and get it onto a plate of paper towel, let it drain and cool. Then what we're going to do, once we have that on, we're going to then put the next burner on medium heat with the bacon grease, and we're going to add in the diced veggies. Now what we're going to do is we are going to sweat these down. And what you'll want to do to sweat these down is you're going to want to add some salt to them to help draw out the moisture. And whenever I season with salt, I also add in some black pepper. Now once you get the heat up on this and you start to hear the hiss, what you're going to want to do is then reduce it to medium low and just let it sweat. You do not want to saute this where it become brown. You want it to become the onion to become translucent, and along with the celery to become translucent, and the carrots to become soft. So this may take 15 minutes or so, but you gotta, patience is key on this. Okay, now to add a little bit of thickening power to this, what we're going to do is we're going to make a slight roux with about, about half a tablespoon of flour into it. Just kind of sprinkle it in, and we're going to have to. Actually, why don't we go with about a quarter tablespoon of flour, and what we're going to do is we're going to kind of fry that in with all of this. Just add some flavor, but also kind of pre-cooking the flour will help to thicken up it'll absorb all the oil and help thicken up the shepherd's pie afterwards. Now, so we don't lose much more, now that I've kind of absorbed the oil, what we're going to do is we're going to add in the 1 pound of lamb. Into the pan. Lamb into the pan. And what we'll do is we will break this up. And get this nice and browned up, and then we'll kind of let this kind of steep in there a bit. And obviously adjust the heat as needed. When this is browned up, we'll bring it back. Okay, the miracle of remembering to hit the record button. So what I've done is I've added in about a quarter cup of red wine, because what I would use is use a little bit of beef stock to thicken this up, but I forgot it, and this is a test kitchen. I need a little bit of liquid. I then added in cumin, minced garlic, cayenne, celery salt, salt and pepper to this as well for some nice flavorants. And then what we're going to do is let this simmer down and kind of thicken up a bit. And then what we will do is we'll let it kind of cool while we get ready to, so it's good enough to handle, and we can start making potato skins. Okay, so then what you want to do is, in this case we're using 4 potatoes. You want to have 4 baked potatoes. When you're making the vent holes, make them on the side so it's easier cut. These are, just be careful if you're doing this while they're hot, because, well, they're hot and you will burn yourself. So just employ a little hand protection. Then what we're going to do is slice it open. Try and slice it as evenly as possible, and don't be like me, who is hot and idiot. And I'm kind of also cutting these open so that they're easier, so they cool quicker. And then I'm going to do this 2 halves at a time, and when you get them, what we're going to be doing is taking out the inside. Looks like these may need a little bit more time. Yeah, so these are going to need a little bit more time, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these for a couple more minutes, and we'll go from there. Okay, so when it's soft enough to work with and it's cool enough to work with, what we can do is carefully kind of remove some of the potato from the inside without ruining the outer shell like I'm doing here. Fork would be easier. Some of these are not perfect, that's okay. So I'm going to continue doing this, and then I'm going to bring you back once this is done. Well, I have my assistant kind of wrapping up the potatoes because I had some caving in issues. What we're going to do is we're going to make the top part of the shepherd's pie. Now, the bits of potato that got caved in, that we took out from the innards, what we're going to be doing is adding in the cheese and sour cream to it as well while it's kind of hot still. Want a bit of sharp, this is just shredded sharp cheddar. Just a little bit, not too much. And also we'll add in a dollop of sour cream. This is kind of like also a baked potato type of thing. We'll add in a bit of sour cream just to kind of help loosen it up. And add a bit more. And then what we're going to do is add the last component, which is the bacon bits. We'll add in a bunch of these. Which I can confirm, these bacon bits are delicious. We'll remove these spoons. Put these off to the side. Now we're going to go ahead and just kind of mix and mash. And then once we start assembling, I'll bring you back. And now we assemble. So, what we'll do is gently add in a portion of this into each. Some might have more, some are going to have less. Probably going to have leftover filling, which is fine. We will either make it to regular shepherd's pie, or we will just eat straight up. Okay, and then give me those spoons. Not that spoon, those spoons. And what we're going to do, cover this with our mashed up filling. Two forks seem like they may be, two spoons seem like they will be an easier way of applying it. and I will bring you back when I have these covered up. Okay, now we're going to park these into a 350 degree oven for, we're going to go about 10-15 minutes. We'll check them at 10. We'll check them actually about every 5 minutes, and then hopefully they come out good. If not, well, it's always pizza. Okay, so it's been 15 minutes, and what we're going to do, these are good, so we're going to take them out, let them cool, but they look good. So I'll let these cool off a little bit. The leftover stuff, what you can do is, well, what we're going to do. We realized we had leftover meat, so what we're going to do is make some shepherd's pie. I'll put at the end what my thoughts are on the dish, but this has been shepherd's pie potato skins. They look good. My problems were with the potatoes were breaking apart, so we're going to try and use a firmer potato next time. Also on top of that, we're going to try and cook them better. The problem was I was caving out there breaking apart. So I'm going to have to kind of play around with the cooking times of the potatoes before I do it. But these look done. They're pretty much cooked through as it was. So this has been the Otter's Test Kitchen, and my name is Nate. I'm the Otter Outdoorsman. And what we're going to do, and I'll let you know how they taste at the end. Okay guys, so sorry I didn't show us eating it. I was entertaining guests. But it came out good. If you want to make it, you just have to make a lot more potato skins. It's going to be more than 4 potatoes worth of shepherd's pie. What we ended up doing was making shepherd's pie with it. We're going to make it and just mashing up some potatoes. The same thing where there was like a cheese, bacon mash on top. Really good, by the way. So it came out good. As I said, what I'm probably going to end up doing next time is getting different potatoes that can basically be scraped out enough and don't fall apart, and that will probably benefit from it afterwards. I mean, the downside was caving out the potatoes was a process. So if you're doing it, do plan on a lot of prep, or kind of get your guests to clean it out, because, well, it took effort. And as I said, I was entertaining guests, so I needed to get it out faster. And it held together beautifully, and it tasted really good. You could really taste the spices I put into it, and everything just came out really good. And actually, after cooling a little bit, did stay together in the hand, which was the goal, and it came out well. So, and actually, I would recommend putting the wine in if you're not serving this to kids, because, well, just let you know, the wine doesn't fully cook out when you do it. But this recipe is also really good for making regular shepherd's pie. Just instead of caving out potatoes, just mash up maybe about 6 potatoes, 6 medium russet potatoes, mash them up, add some cheese, add your bacon bits into it, add some margarine or butter, mash it up really nicely, and then just put it right on top, and that's a treat that can't be beat. I didn't have to order pizza tonight, so that made me happy. So, my name is Nate. I'm the Otter Outdoorsman, and I hope you enjoyed this pilot episode of the Otter's Test Kitchen. I'll see you next time.